Welcome back to the channel, hockey fans. Let's look at 20 goalies that have scored a goal in the NHL. 17 goaltenders have scored a total of 20 goals in National Hockey League games. Such goals are often called a goalie goal. A goalkeeper can score by either shooting the puck into the net or being awarded the goal as the last player on his team to touch the puck when an opponent scored an own goal. The first recorded goal scored by a goaltender in competitive play was in 1905. In a February 18th game between Montreal Westmount and the Quebec Bulldogs of Canadian Amateur Hockey League. Fred Brophy of Montreal and Hall of Famer Patty Morin of Quebec exchanged scoring attempts before Brophy beat Morin, while the latter and most of the spectators convulsed in laughter. Brophy repeated the feat a year later on March 7, 1906, by skating the length of the ice to score on goaltender Nathan Fry of the Montreal Victorias of the Eastern Canada Amateur Hockey Association. Of the 20 goals, 12 were scored by shooting a puck and 8 were the result of own goals. Before the creation of the NHL in 1917, there were some instances recorded of goaltenders rushing down the ice to participate in the play, occasionally scoring a goal. After the Toronto Maple Leafs' Gary Smith was injured on such a rush in the 1966-67 NHL season, the practice was abolished. Chuck Rayner of the New York Rangers was a proficient stick handler and attempted to score a goal several times by aiming at the empty net or joining the attack. While in the Navy, Chuck became the only goaltender on record to skate the length of the ice and score a goal. It happened while Rayner was playing for the Royal Canadian Armed Forces team. After making a save off his chest, and with the rest of the players scattered behind his net, Chuck snared the loose puck and took off down the ice. Always a strong skater, he sped over the red line and continued directly towards the goal mouth, where he fired a low shot past Art Jones, the astonished opposing netminder. He was also experimentally used on the point during the power plays in the late 1940s. In 1977, Rogie Vachon briefly became the first goaltender to score a goal after being credited following an own goal by the opponent. After video review, the goal was given to Vic Benasky. Billy Smith of the New York Islanders was the first goaltender to be credited with a goal on November 28, 1979, when Rob Ramage of the Colorado Rockies put the puck into his own empty net. Billy Smith is the only goaltender to have scored in a game that he lost. The first goaltender to score a goal by intentionally shooting the puck into the opponent's net was the Philadelphia Flyers' Ron Hextall, who on December 8, 1987, scored on an empty net after Boston pulled their goaltender, Réjean Lemelin, for a sixth attacker late in the third period. Martin Brodeur has scored the most NHL goals by a goaltender, with 2 in the regular season and 1 in the playoffs. The most recent goaltender to have scored a goal by deliberately shooting the puck into his opponent's net was Alex Nedeljkovic on January 17, 2025. Nedeljkovic scored his first career NHL goal in a 5-2 victory against the Buffalo Sabres and became the 16th NHL goaltender to do so. On November 17, 2023, while with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, Nedeljkovic scored his second goal at the AHL level. In a 4-2 road win over the Providence Bruins, he became the first goaltender in AHL history to score 2 or more career goals. He also became the first goaltender in NHL history to score a goal and record an assist in the same game, as well as the only goaltender to score a goal in the NHL, AHL, and ECHL. He has the most professional goals for a goaltender. Of the 20 goals scored by NHL goaltenders, 12 were shot into the opposing team's net by the goaltender. 2 goaltenders have scored a goal and earned a shutout in the same game. Damian Rhodes, playing for the Ottawa Senators, was credited with a goal in a 6-0 win over the New Jersey Devils on January 2, 1999. Jose Theodore, playing for the Montreal Canadiens, shot the puck into the New York Islanders' empty net in a 3-0 victory on January 2, 2001, exactly 2 years later. Theodore's shot was the only backhand of the 11. He is also the most recent goaltender to have scored a goal by deliberately shooting the puck without kneeling on the ice. Chris Mason, Damian Rhodes, Tristan Jarry, and Alex Nedeljkovic are the only goaltenders to be credited with a goal in both the AHL and the NHL. Mike Smith was also credited with a goal in both the NHL and the ECHL, having scored a goal as a member of the Lexington Men of War on October 26, 2002 against the Dayton Bombers and scoring into an empty net against the Detroit Red Wings on October 19, 2013. Mike Smith was the first goaltender to score a goal in the NHL with the Turco grip, placing the catching glove overhand on the shaft of the stick. While both Ron Hextall and Martin Brodeur have scored more than 1 goal, Hextall is the only goaltender to score twice by directly shooting the puck into the opponent's net. Brodeur's second and third goals were own goals by the other team, where Brodeur received credit for touching the puck last. Brodeur's second goal is the only game-winning goal scored by a goaltender. Hextall and Brodeur both scored in a playoff game as well as a regular season game. Hextall's second goal is the only goal scored by a goaltender while his team was shorthanded. Evgeny Nabokov and Martin Brodeur are the only goaltenders who scored on a power play, until Filip Gustafsson's goal on October 15, 2024. Martin Brodeur is the only goaltender to score against another goaltender when he scored against Dan Ellis on his third career goal. Although Ellis was on his way to the bench for an extra attacker on a delayed penalty call and failed to make it back to the net in time to prevent the puck from entering the goal. Brodeur is also the only goaltender who has scored an empty net goal while the opposing goaltender was on the bench and being the goaltender on the bench when another goaltender was credited with a goal. Of the 20 goals, the New Jersey Devils franchise has been involved in 6, 3 goals for highest total and 3 against highest total, including the first ever goaltender goal when scored on in their previous incarnation as the Colorado Rockies. Filip Gustafsson, Alex Nedeljkovic, and Ilya Sorokin's goals in the 2024-25 season were the first time in NHL history that more than one goaltender scored a goal in a single season. Nedeljkovic is also the only goaltender to score a goal and get an assist in the same game. Of the goaltenders that have scored a goal in the NHL, 5 remain. On March 6, 1996, Chris Osgood of the Detroit Red Wings scored a goalie goal against the Hartford Whalers by directly shooting the puck into the net, becoming only the second goalie after Ron Hextall to do so. Mika Norrinen scored a goal on February 14, 2004, during a game between the Buffalo Sabres and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The goal occurred when Toronto's Robert Reichel accidentally scored an own goal, and Norrinen was credited as the last Sabres player to touch the puck. This made him the 10th goalie in NHL history to be credited with a goal. Cam Ward, the former Carolina Hurricanes goaltender, scored a rare goalie goal on December 26, 2011, during a game against the New Jersey Devils. Ward was credited with an empty net goal after Ilya Kovalchuk's errant pass went the length of the ice and into his own team's net. This made Ward the first goalie in Hurricanes franchise history to score a goal. Pekka Rinne, the legendary goaltender for the Nashville Predators, scored a rare goalie goal on January 9, 2020, during a game against the Chicago Blackhawks. Rinne took a shot at the empty net and successfully scored with just 22 seconds remaining. This made him the 12th goalie in NHL history to achieve this incredible feat. Linus Ullmark, the Boston Bruins goaltender, made history on February 25, 2023 by scoring a rare goalie goal during a game against the Vancouver Canucks. Ullmark took a shot at the empty net and successfully scored, sealing a 3-1 victory for his team. This incredible moment made him the first Bruins goalie to achieve this feat. In NHL history, 17 goalies have scored a total of 20 goals. These rare moments happen in 2 ways. The goalie intentionally shoots the puck into an empty net, or the goalie is credited with a goal after an opponent accidentally scores an own goal. The combination of skill, awareness, and a bit of luck makes these moments unforgettable in hockey history. Hey hockey fans, if you like this content, please hit that subscribe button. You can also follow my blog at https://tedtalkshockey.com, and remember to keep your stick in the ice. Thanks for watching.